Welcome, Audiobook Zone. Have you ever felt like your own thoughts are holding you back? Like there's a storm raging inside your mind, and no matter how hard you try, you can't find peace, focus, or direction. I want you to pause for a moment and listen carefully. What I'm about to share with you is not just theory, it's a blueprint, a living, breathing strategy that has helped countless people rise from the depths of doubt and confusion to the heights of success. The battlefield for your future isn't outside, it's inside your mind. Every fear, every worry, every limiting belief you carry is silently shaping your destiny. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. You have been gifted the most incredible instrument ever created, a mind that can be trained, molded, and mastered. And today, I am going to show you, step by step, how to take control, how to silence the chaos, and how to focus your thoughts like a laser beam toward the success that's waiting for you. Listen closely, because what you hear here could change the way you think, act, and live forever. This is your moment. This is your awakening. Have you ever stopped to really listen to your own thoughts? Not just the surface chatter that runs through your mind like background noise, but the deep, persistent whispers that shape who you are and who you will become. Most people never do. They wake up, they go through their routines, they react to situations, and yet they remain completely unaware of the incredible force that is running their lives from the inside their own mind. Awareness is not just noticing what is happening around you. Awareness is the art of looking inward, of understanding the currents of thought, emotion, and belief that quietly determine your destiny every single day. This is the first and most powerful step toward mastering your life. Until you become aware, nothing truly changes. You can read every book, attend every seminar, pray fervently, and yet, if you are unaware of the nature of your own mind, you are wandering blind in a forest with no compass. Awareness is the compass. Awareness is the light that allows you to see the path clearly. And when you take it seriously, your life will never be the same again. Consider this. The average person has tens of thousands of thoughts every single day. Every one of those thoughts is planting a seed in the soil of your reality. Some seeds grow into success, others into failure. Some grow into courage, some into fear. Most people are completely unconscious gardeners of their own minds, allowing weeds to take root and choke out the flowers of potential before they even have a chance to bloom. You might think that awareness is just knowing what you're thinking, but it's so much more than that. Awareness is noticing the quality of your thoughts, the tone of your inner voice, and the patterns that repeat themselves over and over. Again, when you become truly aware, you start seeing where your mind has been sabotaging you, where fear has crept in disguised as caution, where doubt has disguised itself as wisdom. This is why awareness is the first step toward control, and control is the first step toward success. I want you to imagine your mind as a house. Every room is filled with furniture, some beautiful, some broken, some dusty, and some shining. Most people walk through that house without looking, bumping into broken chairs, stepping over clutter, and complaining about how uncomfortable their surroundings are. Awareness is like turning on the lights. Suddenly, you see the mess. You see what needs to be repaired, what needs to be thrown away, and what is worth keeping. You begin to take responsibility for the house you live in every moment, and you start making decisions intentionally instead of reacting unconsciously. This is the power of awareness. You can't control what you can't see, and the mind is invisible until you shine a light on it. Think about the times when you've felt frustrated, angry, or stuck. Did you ever stop to ask why? Did you ever trace back your emotions to the thoughts that caused them? Most people don't. They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They blame luck. But the truth is that every emotional reaction, every limiting belief, every regret or anxiety is born inside your own mind. Until you cultivate awareness, you are walking through life as a passenger, letting your thoughts drive your actions instead of taking the wheel yourself. Awareness is the moment you step into the driver's seat. It's when you say, "I see you, mind. I see your fears. I see your doubts. I see your patterns. And from this moment forward, I will no longer let you steer me blindly." That moment is transformational. That moment separates the passive from the deliberate, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Now, awareness is not something that comes from reading a single book or listening to a single audiobook. It is a practice, a constant, daily effort. Start by observing your thoughts as if you were an outsider looking in. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize. Just watch. Notice when your mind drifts to fear, when it obsesses over failure, when it replays old stories of hurt and disappointment. Recognize these patterns. See them for what they are: temporary, fleeting, and often exaggerated. Then, gently, redirect your mind toward thoughts that empower, uplift, and focus on solutions rather than problems. Over time, this simple practice strengthens the muscles of awareness. It allows you to catch destructive thought patterns before they take root. It allows you to notice when self-doubt begins to creep in and to replace it with courage and clarity. Awareness is like installing a security system in your mind. You become alert to intrusions, to lies, to negativity, and you take immediate action to restore order. James Bond often said, "The mind obeys the eye that sees it," and he was right. The moment you become aware, your mind begins to cooperate. You start noticing opportunities you missed before, ideas that were always there but you didn't recognize, and solutions to problems that seemed impossible. Awareness gives you a vantage point. From that vantage point, you are no longer trapped in reaction, no longer buffeted by circumstance, no longer a slave to unconscious patterns. You become deliberate, you become intentional, you begin to realize that you are the architect of your thoughts and, therefore, the architect of your life. The power of awareness also comes from honesty. To be truly aware, you must be brutally honest with yourself. You must admit where you have been weak, where you have avoided responsibility, and where your mind has deceived you. You must confront the uncomfortable truths, the lies you've been telling yourself, and the excuses you've been hiding behind. Most people resist this because the truth is uncomfortable. But the moment you face it, you gain clarity, and clarity is freedom. Freedom to choose differently, freedom to act differently, freedom to live differently. Awareness is the key that unlocks this freedom. Awareness also creates space for growth. When you see your thoughts clearly, you see the gaps in your knowledge, the biases in your perception, and the limits you have unconsciously imposed on yourself. This insight allows you to learn, adapt, and evolve. You begin to replace fear with faith, doubt with confidence, and limitation with possibility. You begin to understand that the mind is not a prison, but a tool, a powerful tool that, when wielded with awareness, can create success, fulfillment, and meaning beyond anything you imagined. But here's the critical point. Awareness without action is useless. Seeing the patterns of your mind is the first step, but you must act on what you discover. You must intentionally replace negative thoughts with positive ones, destructive habits with empowering ones, and doubt with belief. Every successful person you admire has done this. They have observed their minds, discovered the weaknesses, and deliberately strengthened them. They have turned awareness into mastery. And mastery, my friend, is the foundation of every great life. I want you to start today, right now. Begin noticing your thoughts. Start a journal if it helps. Record what you think about most often. Notice the recurring patterns. Ask yourself, are these thoughts serving me or sabotaging me? Are they lifting me up or holding me down? Begin to intervene. Redirect your focus toward what empowers you. Feed your mind with ideas, visions, and affirmations that move you closer to your goals. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, and the more your life begins to reflect the clarity, strength, and intentionality you are cultivating. Remember, awareness is the first doorway to control. Control is the doorway to power. Power is the doorway to success. Every great achievement in life, every moment of triumph, every breakthrough begins with awareness. The person who succeeds is not the one who has the most talent, the most resources, or the most luck. The person who succeeds is the one who becomes aware of their own mind, takes responsibility for it, and deliberately shapes their thoughts to align with their highest goals. So watch your mind. Listen to it. Understand it. Be honest with it. Intervene when necessary. Cultivate awareness daily, and you will be amazed at how your life begins to transform. The chaos in your thoughts will give way to clarity. The fear in your heart will give way to courage. The uncertainty in your mind will give way to confidence. Awareness is not just a skill, it is a lifestyle, a commitment, and the ultimate act of self-respect. Embrace it. Practice it. Master it. Your mind is waiting for you to take the reins. And the moment you do, the life you have always dreamed of becomes possible, because it all begins inside, with awareness. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. You see, most people talk about success like it is something that happens by chance, as if luck, opportunity, or talent alone can deliver a life of fulfillment and achievement. But let me tell you something, the truth is far more powerful, far more practical, and far more within your control than luck or circumstance. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not intelligence. It is not resources, and it is not even opportunity. The difference is discipline. Discipline is the invisible force that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Discipline is the practice of showing up every day, doing what needs to be done. Even when your heart is tired, your body is exhausted, and your mind wants to quit. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is unstoppable. James Bond often said, "Discipline is the muscle that grows strength in your mind, heart, and soul." And he meant every word. Without discipline, even the greatest ideas remain just that, ideas. Without discipline, even the deepest desires wither before they can bloom into reality. Discipline is the secret engine behind every success story you have ever heard, and the moment you begin to embrace it fully, you take control of your destiny. Think about the times you have wanted something badly, but failed to achieve it. Was it because the goal was impossible, or because your mind and your habits were not aligned with the outcome? Most of the time, it is the latter. Discipline is the art of aligning your mind, body, and actions with your goals consistently. No matter what the circumstances, it is the practice of doing what is hard, uncomfortable, and inconvenient, because you know that these small, daily actions compound into extraordinary results over time. Every morning that you wake up and take control of your thoughts, every task you complete that you don't feel like doing, every step you take toward improvement even when no one is watching, is an act of discipline, and every act of discipline strengthens your mind, trains your focus, and builds the resilience you need to overcome any challenge. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think it is about restriction, about saying no to pleasure, about rigid routines and endless schedules. But discipline is far more profound than that. Discipline is freedom. It is the freedom to rise above laziness, distraction, and weakness. It is the freedom to shape your destiny instead of being shaped by circumstances. James Bond said, "Discipline is not a cage. It is the wings that allow you to soar." The more disciplined you become, the more choices you create for yourself, the more control you gain over your life, and the more strength you develop to face challenges head-on. Every time you practice discipline, you are investing in your future self, and the returns are limitless. One of the most important aspects of discipline is consistency. Many people start with motivation, excitement, or inspiration, but they quickly fade when the initial energy wears off. Discipline is what remains when the excitement disappears. It is the quiet, persistent voice inside you that says, "I will do this, no matter how I feel." Discipline does not rely on mood or circumstance. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It acts, it executes. And over time, consistency produces mastery. Imagine planting a tree and watering it once in a while. It may grow, but it will be weak, fragile, and likely to wither in the first storm. Now imagine watering it every day, nurturing it, protecting it, and tending to it with patience and care. That tree grows strong, unshakable, and fruitful. Your mind and your character are no different. Discipline is the daily act of nurturing your inner strength until it becomes unbreakable. Let's talk about self-control, because self-control is the foundation of discipline. Every choice you make, every temptation you resist, every impulse you master is a step toward a stronger mind. The person who cannot control small things like procrastination, distractions, or negative thoughts cannot hope to control bigger things like time, productivity, or life-altering decisions. Discipline is the practice of saying no when it is easier to say yes to comfort, distraction, or indulgence. It is choosing the long-term benefit over short-term pleasure. It is choosing to work, to grow, to learn, and to improve, even when no one is watching. And every time you do this, your strength grows. James Bound said, "Strength is born in the moment you choose duty over desire." That moment is where the seed of discipline transforms into the tree of success. Discipline also teaches patience. You see, the world we live in today is obsessed with instant results. We want success immediately, without the effort, without the sweat, without the time it takes to build true mastery. But discipline reminds us that greatness cannot be rushed. Discipline teaches us to embrace the process, to trust the journey, and to persist when the outcome is not yet visible. It is in those moments, when no one else believes in you, when progress seems slow, and when obstacles appear insurmountable, that discipline becomes your anchor. It is the force that keeps you moving forward, one step at a time, and eventually, the accumulation of those steps brings triumph. Discipline makes patience productive, and patience is the engine of enduring success. Another dimension of discipline is focus. Discipline trains your mind to eliminate distractions and zero in on what truly matters. It teaches you to allocate your energy toward actions that move you closer to your goals, instead of scattering it on trivialities. Focus is power, and discipline is the tool that sharpens it. James Bound said, "A disciplined mind is a focused mind, and a focused mind achieves what others only dream of." Every successful person you admire has cultivated this focus through discipline. They have learned to say no to distractions, to prioritize their time, and to act with relentless determination toward their objectives. And this is the same power available to you if you choose to embrace discipline fully. Discipline also strengthens your character. It is easy to be strong when circumstances are favorable, when motivation is high, or when life is simple. But true discipline is forged in adversity. It is built when you persist through challenges, when you do what is right even when it is uncomfortable, when you take responsibility for your choices, and when you keep moving forward despite setbacks. Strength of character is inseparable from discipline. You cannot develop one without the other. The disciplined person becomes trustworthy, reliable, and resilient. They gain the respect of others, but more importantly, they gain respect for themselves. There is no greater feeling than knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you have the inner strength to rise, to act, and to overcome. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. There was a young man who dreamed of building a business, a life that mattered, a legacy that would endure. Every day, he faced obstacles, doubts, and challenges that would have crushed most people. But he had one secret weapon: discipline. He committed to learning every day, to working every day, to making small but consistent improvements, and to showing up even when he felt like giving up. Years passed. The young man faced failures, rejections, and setbacks, but his discipline never wavered. Slowly but surely his efforts compounded. His skills grew, his knowledge expanded, and his confidence solidified. And eventually, the man achieved the success he had dreamed of, not because luck smiled upon him, not because opportunity knocked at his door, but because discipline had made him unbreakable. His strength was a product of his daily habits, his consistent actions, and his unwavering commitment to mastery. This is the power of discipline. Discipline is also contagious. When you embrace it, it inspires others around you. Your commitment to doing what is right, your consistency, and your perseverance create an environment where others are encouraged to rise, to improve, and to push beyond their limits. Discipline does not only benefit you, it elevates everyone you touch. It becomes a force multiplier in every area of life, relationships, career, health, finances, and personal growth. James Bound often said, "Discipline does not just build strength, it builds influence, impact, and legacy." This is why the disciplined life is not only powerful, but also noble. Finally, remember this: discipline is a choice. It is not something that happens by accident, nor is it reserved for a select few. Every day, in every moment, you have the power to choose. You can choose comfort or growth, ease or effort, distraction or focus, weakness or strength. And each choice you make strengthens or weakens the muscle of discipline. The more consistently you choose the path of effort, responsibility, and intentional action, the stronger you become. The mind, the body, and the soul grow stronger with each act of discipline. Eventually, strength becomes effortless, focus becomes automatic, mastery becomes natural, and success, once distant and uncertain, becomes inevitable. So begin today. Commit to discipline in your thoughts, in your actions, and in your habits. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Work on what matters most, consistently, intentionally, and with purpose. Embrace the discomfort. Persist through challenges, and trust the process. With discipline, your mind becomes a fortress, your actions become unstoppable, and your life becomes a masterpiece of strength, clarity, and achievement. James Bound's words echo through time. Discipline is the foundation on which all greatness is built. Without it, even the brightest potential remains unrealized. With it, you become unbreakable. Make discipline your ally, your practice, and your lifestyle, and watch as strength, power, and success unfold in every area of your life. Focus is one of the most misunderstood powers in the human experience. Many people think that being busy is the same as being productive, or that working long hours automatically leads to results. But the truth is far simpler and far more profound. Results come not from activity, but from focus. Focus is the act of directing your energy, attention, and intention toward what truly matters. It is the ability to eliminate distractions, cut through noise, and channel your efforts with precision. James Bound often said, "Focus is the lens through which success becomes visible," and he was right. Without focus, even the greatest talent, the most innovative ideas, and the clearest vision can become lost, diluted, and wasted. Focus is the difference between scattered effort and meaningful achievement. It is the laser that cuts through the fog, the rudder that guides the ship, the compass that points directly to your goal. And once you master focus, your life begins to change in ways you never imagined. Think about the times you have tried to accomplish something important but kept getting pulled in different directions. Your mind jumps from one thought to another. Your attention fragments across multiple tasks. And before you know it, hours have passed without meaningful progress. This is the enemy of success: scattered energy, every distraction, every interruption. Every moment you spend reacting to the trivial steals power from your most important goals. Focus, on the other hand, allows you to concentrate all your mental, emotional, and physical energy on the single task that will move you forward the fastest. It is the secret weapon of every high achiever, every inventor, every entrepreneur, and every individual who has transformed their life. Focus is not optional. It is essential. The first step in cultivating focus is clarity. You must know exactly what you want to achieve and why. Without clarity, the mind wanders. Without clarity, the will weakens. James Bond often said, "A mind without a target is like an archer without an aim. No matter how strong the arm, the arrow will never reach its mark." Take time to define your goals with precision. Know what success looks like in your own life. Understand the specific actions that will bring you closer to your objective. Clarity creates direction, and direction creates focus. It is impossible to be focused on everything, but it is entirely possible to be focused on the few things that truly matter. Once you have clarity, you must cultivate attention. Attention is the currency of success. Where you place it, your life follows. Every time you allow your attention to drift, to react to trivial matters, or to indulge in distractions, you are slowly giving away the power of your mind. Attention must be deliberate. Attention must be guarded, treated as the precious resource it is. James Bond said, "Guard your attention as you would guard your life, for your attention determines the quality of your existence." This means turning off distractions, setting boundaries, and choosing carefully how and where you invest your mental energy. The more you protect your attention, the more your focus strengthens, and the more results you will see. Focus also requires discipline of the mind. The human mind naturally seeks novelty and excitement. It craves stimulation and often jumps from one thing to another. The ability to maintain focus is not natural. It is a skill, a muscle, and a habit that must be trained. Start small. Commit to working on a single task without interruption for a set period of time. Increase that period gradually. Eliminate multitasking, which is a silent killer of focus. When you work on one thing with full attention, your mind enters a state of deep engagement, often referred to as flow. Flow is where creativity, efficiency, and insight multiply. Focus allows you to enter flow more consistently, and flow produces extraordinary results. Another crucial element of focus is prioritization. You must learn to identify the tasks and actions that will have the greatest impact on your goals, and give them your undivided attention. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every urgent matter is important. Focus is about saying no to distractions, temptations, and low-value tasks so that you can say yes to what truly matters. James Bond said, "Focus is not just what you choose to pursue, it is also what you courageously choose to ignore." This courage to ignore what is trivial is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is what allows you to concentrate your energy on high-leverage actions that create momentum and results. Focus also demands mindfulness. Being present in the moment, fully engaged in the task at hand, is the essence of focus. Many people live with their minds scattered in the past or the future. They ruminate on regrets, replay mistakes, or worry endlessly about what might happen. This fragmented attention diminishes effectiveness and drains energy. Focus requires that you anchor yourself in the present, that you engage fully with the current task, and that you resist the temptation to be pulled away by irrelevant thoughts. Mindfulness enhances your concentration, sharpens your decisions, and magnifies the impact of every action you take. Focus is also strengthened by environment. The mind is highly influenced by the space it occupies. Distractions, clutter, noise, and interruptions all weaken focus. To achieve high levels of concentration, create an environment that supports it. Remove unnecessary gadgets. Limit exposure to social media. Reduce multitasking. and surround yourself with reminders of your goals. James Bound often emphasized that focus is as much about removing obstacles as it is about mental effort. A clean, organized, and intentional environment allows your mind to operate at its highest capacity, free from the chaos that steals energy and dilutes results. Focus also builds momentum. Once you commit your energy to a meaningful task and maintain attention, small achievements accumulate. Each success, each step forward, reinforces confidence, strengthens discipline, and deepens your ability to concentrate. Momentum is the natural reward of sustained focus. It creates a compounding effect, where the longer you maintain your attention, the greater your results become. James Bound said, "Focus is the engine that turns effort into results, and momentum is the fuel that sustains it." The longer you maintain focus, the faster you move toward your goals, and the stronger your mind becomes in the process. One of the most powerful aspects of focus is its ability to protect your energy. Your mind is constantly assaulted by distractions, negative thoughts, and competing priorities. Every time you allow yourself to be pulled in 100 directions, you dilute your energy and diminish your effectiveness. Focus acts like a shield. It allows you to direct your mental, emotional, and physical energy toward what matters most, conserving strength and maximizing impact. Without focus, energy is wasted, opportunities are missed, and potential is squandered. With focus, energy multiplies, doors open, and results accelerate. James Bound often told the story of a man who had extraordinary potential, but lived a life of mediocrity because he lacked focus. He chased every shiny object, reacted to every crisis, and gave his attention to everyone and everything except the few things that mattered most. He worked harder than most, yet achieved far less. Then one day, he discovered the power of focus. He eliminated distractions, set clear priorities, and dedicated himself to the one task that mattered most each day. Slowly, steadily, his results began to grow. His mind became sharper, his energy more concentrated, and his impact more profound. Within a few years, the same man who had been lost in chaos had transformed his life completely. This is the power of focus. It concentrates effort, multiplies results, and transforms potential into achievement. Finally, understand that focus is a choice. It is not automatic. Every day, every moment, you have the power to direct your attention intentionally. You can choose to scatter your energy across endless distractions, or you can choose to concentrate it on the few things that truly matter. Every choice to focus strengthens your mind, sharpens your clarity, and moves you closer to your goals. James Bound said, "Focus is the habit of champions. Without it, greatness remains a dream. With it, greatness becomes inevitable." Commit to focus. Protect your attention. Prioritize what matters. Eliminate distractions. Be present. Build momentum. And watch as the results you once dreamed of begin to appear, not by accident, not by luck, but as a direct consequence of the power of your concentrated mind. Focus drives results, and results drive the life you were meant to live. Master focus, and you master your destiny. Belief is the invisible force that shapes every life, every decision, every action, and every outcome. It is the foundation upon which reality is built. Without belief, potential remains unrealized, dreams remain distant, and possibilities remain locked away. Many people underestimate the power of their own beliefs, assuming that external circumstances, luck, or talent alone determine success. But the truth is far more profound. What you believe about yourself, about the world, and about what is possible directly determines what you can achieve. James Bound often said, "Belief is the engine of the impossible. It moves mountains, opens doors, and transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones." Belief is not a passive thought or a fleeting wish. It is a living, breathing force that shapes your perception, guides your actions, and molds your destiny. And the moment you begin to believe deeply and intentionally, your reality begins to change, often in ways you never imagined. Think about a child learning to walk. That child does not consider the probability of failure, the number of times they will fall, or the difficulty of balancing on two legs. They simply believe they can walk, and with each attempt, each fall, and each effort, they grow stronger, steadier, and more confident. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes natural. Belief is the same. When you hold a conviction deep within yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that your goals are attainable, your actions begin to align with that belief. You begin to take steps that a doubtful mind would never attempt. You begin to see opportunities that others overlook. You begin to persist through challenges that would stop someone who lacks belief. Belief transforms your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your life. The first step in harnessing the power of belief is clarity. You must know what you truly believe and why. Many people wander through life with weak, uncertain, or contradictory beliefs. They say they want success, love, or happiness, but deep down, they doubt whether it is possible for them. These hidden doubts act like invisible chains, holding them back from taking the actions that would turn their desires into reality. Belief requires introspection. You must examine your current beliefs and ask yourself, are they empowering or limiting? Do they lift me toward my potential, or do they hold me back? Once you identify beliefs that serve you and those that do not, you can begin the process of strengthening the ones that propel you forward and replacing the ones that hinder your progress. Belief also requires repetition. The mind is like a garden, and your beliefs are the seeds. Some seeds grow into beautiful, flourishing plants, while others become weeds that choke your growth. The beliefs you nurture most often are the ones that shape your reality. That is why affirmations, visualization, and consistent positive self-talk are so powerful. Every time you tell yourself, I am capable, I am deserving, or I will succeed, you water the seed of belief. Over time, that seed grows into conviction, and that conviction drives action. James Bound said, the mind will act in accordance with the beliefs it holds most strongly. Feed it well, and it will create a life beyond your dreams. Belief is not instantaneous. It is cultivated, nurtured, and strengthened through consistent practice. Belief transforms your perception of challenges. When you believe deeply, obstacles no longer seem insurmountable. Failures are no longer permanent. Setbacks are no longer reasons to quit. Instead, challenges become opportunities to learn, to adapt, and to grow. The person who believes sees solutions where others see only problems. They see paths where others see walls. They see opportunity where others see impossibility. James Bound often emphasized that belief changes the lens through which you view the world. It does not magically remove difficulties, but it gives you the courage, clarity, and creativity to overcome them. Belief turns adversity into advantage, fear into fuel, and limitation into launchpad. Belief also drives action. Without belief, motivation is fleeting, effort is inconsistent, and courage falters. When you truly believe in your capacity to achieve, your mind, body, and spirit align toward that outcome. You start making decisions that are consistent with your goals. You take risks that are calculated and purposeful. You persist in ways that others, who doubt themselves, cannot. Belief acts as a compass, pointing you toward the actions that produce results. James Bound said, action without belief is like a ship without a rudder, directionless, ineffective, and vulnerable to the storms of doubt. When belief guides your actions, you move with purpose, precision, and power. Faith is an inseparable companion to belief. Belief is what you hold in your mind. Faith is what you hold in your heart. Belief sets the stage. Faith brings it to life. When belief is coupled with faith, It transcends logic, circumstance, and fear. It creates resilience that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. It creates courage that cannot be extinguished by criticism or rejection. It creates hope that illuminates even the darkest paths. James Bound often said, "Faith breathes life into belief. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Belief alone is powerful, but belief intertwined with faith is transformative." Another key aspect of belief is vision. To believe effectively, you must see the outcome clearly in your mind. You must envision the life you desire, the success you aim for, and the person you are becoming. Visualization strengthens belief, because the mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and a present experience. The more clearly you can see your goals and your success in your mind, the more naturally your actions will align to achieve them. James Bound often instructed that successful individuals spend time each day visualizing their success, imagining the steps, the emotions, and the achievements as if they are already happening. This practice strengthens belief and transforms it into reality. Belief is also strengthened by association. The people, stories, and environments you surround yourself with influence what you believe is possible. If you spend time with people who doubt, criticize, or limit you, your own beliefs will weaken. If you immerse yourself in stories of triumph, courage, and resilience, your belief will grow. James Bound emphasized the importance of conscious association. You become the average of those whose thoughts you absorb. Surround yourself with belief, and belief becomes part of you. Seek mentors, guides, and examples of belief in action. Learn from those who have walked the path you aspire to walk, and let their conviction inspire and strengthen your own. Belief also cultivates patience and perseverance. Results rarely happen overnight. Achieving your goals, transforming your life, and reaching your highest potential requires sustained effort. Over time, when your belief is strong, you are willing to endure the process, to persist when progress seems slow, and to trust the journey even when the outcome is not immediately visible. James Bound said, "Belief gives you the endurance to see what others quit before they arrive. Without belief, patience is impossible. With belief, persistence becomes natural, and challenges become opportunities for growth rather than reasons to surrender." Consider the stories of the great achievers in history. They all faced doubt, criticism, failure, and obstacles that would have discouraged anyone. Without unshakable belief, the scientist who discovered, the entrepreneur who built, the artist who created, they all believed in the unseen, in the impossible, in what others could not yet perceive. Their belief was the invisible force that moved mountains, overcame rejection, and transformed dreams into reality. You have the same capacity. Your mind and heart are capable of producing extraordinary results, but only if belief fuels your actions, guides your decisions, and sustains your courage. Belief is also a shield. It protects you from the negativity, doubt, and fear that constantly threaten to undermine your efforts. When you believe in yourself, in your purpose, and in your potential, external criticism loses its power. Obstacles become temporary, challenges become lessons, and setbacks become springboards. James Bound said, "Belief shields the mind from the storms of doubt and despair, allowing you to stand firm when others fall. The stronger your belief, the more resilient you become, and the more unstoppable your journey toward success." Finally, remember this: belief is a choice, a commitment, and a practice. Every day, you can choose to nurture empowering beliefs, to reject limiting thoughts, and to cultivate faith in your potential. Every time you act with confidence, courage, and purpose, you reinforce belief. Every time you visualize your success, affirm your worth, and trust in your path, you strengthen the force that transforms your life. James Bound often said, "What you believe in your heart and mind becomes the life you live." Choose belief, and you choose destiny. Belief is not a passive state, it is an active, living force that you cultivate, protect, and wield intentionally. The moment you embrace it, the moment you fully believe in your capacity, your purpose, and your potential, reality begins to bend toward your will, and the life you once dreamed of becomes not only possible but inevitable.